Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to MUFC Realist TV, the voice of reasoning. And boy, Manchester United is a club that never stops giving regarding the news. Every day we hear something. We are not the flying Amorins, but at least Amorim is here to stay. And of course, we are here to have our say. Reports what we're going to talk about is Florian Plettenberg definitely coming out to say that Marcus Rashford and Manchester United are willing to sell Marcus Rashford latest by summer, but would already open for top offers in the January window. The club kind of acknowledged the development under Ruben Amorim, but they say that they can consider it definitely not unsellable. That is the top story, but also Diogo Dalot. We did a report yesterday to say that it reported that Manchester United financial crisis is larger than it is actually. Sell to buy, that is what it is. Sell to buy. Man United owns 450 million pounds in deferred payments to transfer windows to other clubs as well. Hence why Man United are, in order to back Amorim, needs to sell assets. So Rashford is one of them. Dalot is one of them. We know that we need a left back or left wing back. Are we going for a loan? Are we going for Theo Hernandez? Are we going for who? We don't really know. No sporting director. What's going on there? Are we so stint that we are kind of delegating the jobs to three different actors there, like senior developers like Omar Barada, like Jean-Claude Blanc, Wilcox? Is that the reason why they sacked Dan Ashworth? We're going to talk about that as well, and also regarding the ticketing price and all that stuff. Everything kind of adds up, people. So smash a like, live in like for this community. Whatever you're doing, you can all see each other right there, right now. Guys, this is the VAR room. It's growing and growing. And if you're watching this video, please let us give it to 100 likes. Thumbs up, and we'd be happy, guys. We'd be definitely happy. Let's go down into the news. And we do have a panelist coming in here to have his say as well. Let's talk about Marcus Rashford, peeps. What is going on? Well, let's dive into this Florian Plettenberg report, shall we? Because that's what you're tuning in for. So basically, Man United would sell Marcus Rashford at the latest by summer and would already be open to top offers in the winter. The club kind of acknowledge the development on the Ruben Amorim, what it says, but they're considering definitely not unsellable. One reason per the sell, what the report is saying here, is being discussed, is basically leaves the club because of his high wages, 350k a week, right? It will free up a critical points in the complicated financial fair play. But Marcus Rashford, ever since you signed the contract, you haven't been financial flair play, a flair player. You used to be a flair player, now you're walking and soaking. So in turn, it will be giving the Red Devils more room for maneuver in the transfer market. The 27-year-old has a contract in 2028. Guys, this is the problem, right? This is definitely the problem. We all seen it. We all known it. Ever since Marcus Rashford came into the club, he's not been developed. He had like a stellar season 2 years ago when he scored 30 goals. And on back on that, the club gave him a bumper contract. And ever since then, he's been disappearing. He's done shenanigans, and player agent plays important role in this as well. Player power, agents do play a big role in this, in how you sort of conduct yourself. There must be something in his contract, but Ruben Amorim has come in to say, well, hang on a second, I'm playing a 3-4-3 system, so we cannot shoehorn Marcus Rashford to the left wing because they don't play him as a left wing. We tried him as a striker, as a number 9, but that is fully occupied by Xerxes and Højlund. So we tried to play him as a number 10. Worked once, and then it didn't work. So I want to hear from you guys. What would you do? Would you take the money and run? Zeus is in the house. Zeus, big up. How you doing, my friend? Let's switch to Zeus. Let him have a say. Zeus, how you doing, my friend? Are you good? Where are you? Zeus. Oh my God, where are you? I can't see you, man.
Right here.
You're right there.
Yeah, I'm right here.
All right, then.
You can see
Let's
me?
switch to this scene. Let's switch to this scene. Add to scene. Zeus is in the house. Man, what are you saying?
Well, I think it's about time that we sell Rashford. Uh, Even though he's an academy player, I think we'll make money from him to able to build the squad. Like you said, we're in debt right now. Most companies are in debt, but The way the club is run by the Glazers for a couple of years now has been terrible. So I think if we could sell him at least 40 million, look at what they did to Scott McTominay.
Mm.
Didn't want to sell him, but because he's an economy product, they say, you know what, let's sell him and get 40 million, 20 million, and make profit of it and add it to buy Agate.
Yeah.
So if we could sell Rashford, I think we'll make more money. And for the after he got his injury, I think under social, he can't run no, he can't run over defenders anymore. He would just do like if you watch him the whole 90 minutes, he only do like 1 to 3 runs, and that's it. He's out of breath, he's out of gas, he's out of energy. So and he's at an age where I think he still get like 2 to 3 more years. If he goes to Spain, Italy, I think he could do 4 years. You
Yeah,
know,
100%,
so
100%.
so
Definitely, man.
let's just sell him, get the money, and if you could get something for Bruno too, I think will be good too. Just
Yeah.
take. Oh, look, I'm not gonna say both of them are terrible, but I think for the system that we want to play, I think it's good for us to just sell those two
Yeah, but
players.
they kind of sort of exposes some of these players. We watched it from Arsenal game and against Forest, and they are exposed in the system, right? And one thing is evidential clear, like no pop at Marcus Rashford, but he hasn't really been at it, like Um, he doesn't fit in the 3-4-3 system whatsoever. Like, and Ruben Amorim is kind of having assessment and pop at his squad and say, well, listen, mate, everyone was celebrating, clapping away, like against Arsenal. He was the one walking away, not even clapping the fans. And next thing we know, he's kind of sitting on the bench. And, at the end of the day, we had Phil Marsh yesterday, ex-player from United on Jarvis's Corner podcast, and he basically explained to us that football has changed so much that agents have so much power in who's to say. Just look at Mbappe. He was absolutely done in PSG. He had even the say in his contract. Who PSG was signing. So that's too much player power, and this is something that Ruben Amorim was saying. Well, Manchester United is the biggest team in the world, but we are no longer the biggest team in the world. I mean, biggest club in the world, but we are no longer the biggest team in the world. Is this the fair and square to say? Well, in order to do so, we need to get rid of the senior players that are bad apples in the dressing room to abolish that player power. FC.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, that's correct. Oh, if you look at what Ten Hag did when he came in, he wanted to get rid of all those senior players, right?
Mm,
In the sense that he just wanted youth players, some kids that he could mold into the Ajax system. So when he came, I guess the Glazers said, okay, you could do whatever you want. But then he came to find out, oh, okay, I can't do whatever I want. I can't get
yeah.
rid of Rashford. I can't get rid of Bruno. The only people he even had problem getting rid of Sancho. The only person I think he had a way to get rid of is Cristiano Ronaldo because he made an interview and the Glazers hands was tied. So, okay, if Ronaldo didn't make the interview, I think Ronaldo would have still been here.
Mm,
So those type of players, I think, is good for us to move on. You've been at the club for so many years. Rashford is a good player for United in the sense of a couple of years ago, but not now.
yeah.
The
And fair
system
play.
has passed him. You can't teach him what to do. And when you watch the Arsenal game, like you feel like even though the first half was pretty good, we didn't have no bites. We couldn't attack. We couldn't score. Nothing.
Mm,
All we
mm,
did was just bide our time. If we
yeah.
could find like a good at least energy in that midfield, not in the midfield, the top three, I think we'll be good.
But
Just find somebody.
the
So go
problem
ahead.
is his wages. The problem is the
The
club.
wages, yeah,
The clowns gave him 350K a week, right? That was before INEOS. But obviously,
yeah,
they come into. I mean, I'm going to talk about the finances here, and there is no coincidence why they're saying we need to sell to buy. The club is stint. I did a report regarding this yesterday. We owe 450 million pounds in deferred transfer fees to other clubs, which we hadn't paid. We went
Yeah.
into the summer, we didn't have money, so what we did, it was called something amortization, meaning that we're still adding on to the pile, meaning we're only paying you like Xerxes. We bought Xerxes, and we're paying him. We're paying what is called we're paying that club 10 million, and then we deferred it in 3 installments. That's still credit, right?
Yeah, that's the
So
great. Yeah.
we have no other way to go other than sell assets, right? And who is the biggest asset that is not working? That's Rashford and also Diogo
Russia.
Dalot.
Yeah.
There's no smoke without fire. Diogo Dalot don't work as a left wing back. 100% no, that's the weakest link. And there's some reports that Real Madrid, Barcelona, and others are interested in the service of Diogo Dalot. And I would say, like, look, there's two assets that you can sell. In the summer, we know that Ericsson, that is on 150K a week, will disappear.
It's gone.
Casemiro
Yeah.
is yeah, Casemiro is a problem. Lindelof will disappear as well. That's massive wages off the wage bill. But the way they are shambolically doing it, including removing, like, including increasing this ticket price sales for 60 quid, right? Plus revoking tickets from Busby Babe Munich disaster family members. That's cheap shots, right? And also
Yeah.
removing Sir Alex Ferguson from the wage bill as well as an ambassador tells me the club are scraping the barrel, you know. So how are we going to support? And plus, like, this removal of Dan Ashwood smells a dead rat to me. Like, they are using the media as a mouthpiece to say, to save their face in terms of PR, that yeah, it was him they wanted to keep Ten Hag. He recommended Southgate XYZ. I call it BS, PR bullshit, right? And then you see that we're not going to go and appoint the sporting director. We're going to delegate it between three different senior members. I mean, we're talking about Jean-Claude Blanc, Omar Barada, Jason Wilcox going to share the load. And also, Christopher Vivell is going to be heavily involved in the January transfer window. I mean, what do we believe here? Is it just INEOS and Glazers don't have the money to do anything, so we have to go and sell the assets? So Rashford, for
I,
me, is sellable, but 350K a week, who will take his wages?
I think that's another reason why a lot of Manchester United fans didn't want the INEOS to take over. But then you could say Newcastle take over, they can't even spend money.
Mm.
So even though a lot of us didn't want INEOS, I understand why the Glazers decided to take INEOS instead of the uh,
Well,
say the other Sheikh. I
Sheikh
say Sheikh
Yassim, yeah,
myself.
Sheikh Yassim.
Yeah, yeah.
What do you think
And
so? What do you think so? I'm dying to hear your opinion.
even okay, I'm in the States, right? So the Glazers own
Buccaneers.
the Buccaneers. The way they run it, if you look at the stadium, it's amazing. They put a lot of their money over here instead of putting it in Old Trafford. They don't want to do that because they think
Ah,
that I don't know what they think because they bought the club under the debt, you know. So they don't want to put their own money into the club. So they want to use other people's money. So that's why
well,
INEOS came in and said, you know what, we could put money in it for amount of years, and then maybe 5 years, 10 years, if we're doing good, and then we could kick you out a little bit and start taking the percentage. And the Glazers said, oh, we're gonna be behind the scenes, still taking our dividends, still taking money, and you're
mm,
gonna put more money into the club. It's a win-win,
well, I,
you
I got
know.
my theory. Like, newsflash for you guys. Like, seriously, if you know, Glazers never put money into Tampa Bay.
They don't.
They
You should.
didn't. They didn't. They did blackmailing to move the team elsewhere. So the council
Yeah,
went in and sponsored the stadium. That's the thing, right?
yeah,
And here, what I think it's Ineos is running a footballing club like they're running the corporate business, right? I don't mind being shrewd. I don't mind being, like, reactionary, get rid of the problem. But here's the thing: they promised us a stadium. We still have Old Trafford still as a problem. Where are you going to get that money from, right? And then you see that Sir Jim Ratcliffe is fishing, wants the government also to pitch in to build the biggest stadium, Wembley of the North, without putting in his own money. And on the other hand, you mentioned Newcastle. They're restricted by PSR. They cannot just simply
yeah.
put the
They
money,
can
right?
put money. Yeah,
No.
that's
So Sir
correct.
Jim Ratcliffe cannot put in his money just to solve the debt problem or solve any transfer. And that's why they say you have to sell to buy. And that's why I
Yeah,
believe that they're doing a lot of things to increasing the ticket prices, removing potentially this is going to be alarm bells for the season ticket holders because they want to build a 100 million 100,000 seat stadium and remove the season ticket holders because that will bring them lots more revenues, right? So if you're paying like, I don't know how much a season ticket costs, but if they remove all these member tickets and season ticket holders and start selling it to tourist prices, because let's face it, you have Manchester United is the biggest club in the world. Fan base all around the world will
yeah,
travel in on weekly basis to watch Man United play, and they can sell it for 120, double the price, which they did, right? So you can see where this is going, right? Uh,
yeah.
are they so cheap that they're removing? They have no Christmas party. They slashed down 250 employees at Old Trafford. I mean, short term pain for long term games, but this is the wrong way to rubbing off the fans, right? And everyone
S-
sees that this team is not working, Zeus. In order to be what Ruben Amorim said, Manchester United is the biggest club in the world, but we are no longer the biggest team in the world. In order to do that, in my opinion, Zeus, get rid of Rashford, get rid of Luke Shaw, get rid of all these players that don't belong there anymore, right?
yes.
Let let's call it let's call it spade a spade. Rio Ferdinand called it out yesterday in his podcast. He said, if INEOS can be that ruthless and shrewd, get rid of Dan Ashworth, I hope they can do the same with the players.
I hope so too, but the problem is there's a perfect example. Look at Sancho. They didn't want him in the club at all.
Nope.
So two options came: Juventus and Chelsea. Where did he pick? He chose Chelsea.
Chelsea,
He could
yeah.
have gone. He could have went to Juventus and make some money for the club to get some money, but he didn't go over there. He decided to go to Chelsea.
Yeah.
So I understand what Ineos is trying to do because they trying to. How can I say this? The Glazers has put us in so much debt. They have destroyed the club so much to extend that
18
in
years to
order
repair.
in order for you to dig you out of the hole, you have to dig yourself into the hole and build ladders and climb out of the
Mm.
hole. So right now, I think it's going to get worse. But if you look at Jim Ratcliffe
Oh,
business, I don't.
I call him Jim Sutcliffe.
Yeah, but I would take this Ineos than the Glazers. Right now, we're going to be in pain for at least 3 to 4 years.
Ah,
It's not going to be easy. They're
well,
trying to fix it to the best of their abilities. And as long as you said yes, if they could use what they did to fire the football director,
yeah.
use that energy to take out the players,
But the problem is there,
cancel
Zeus.
their
Like,
contract, or find a way. Just find a way to
listen,
take them out so the wages could decrease.
let
Go
me
ahead.
let me just address the elephant in the room. When Rio Ferdinand played the game, that was possible. Nowadays, you cannot do that because agents is far more involved. Agents are
Yeah,
far more powerful. There's contracts inserted. You can't just fire a whole team. You can't because this
you
contract,
can.
there's money that you
Yeah,
can pay out. You got to rip off the contract. You got to pay, and this is something that they don't have, right? And that's the problem, right? So 18 years is a one hell of a road to fix, but the problem what I have with Ineos is they promised a lot, and now it was pretty much paper of the cracks. The reason why I said to you, why do you think that the Glazers chose Jim Ratcliffe? Well, it's simple. They were in a financial mess. They maxed out
yeah.
all the credit facilities for Cayman Island, Bank of America, Santander's, and everything. They didn't have any choice. So in comes Sir Jim Ratcliffe, offered them a way out. That money he gave didn't go to the club; it went to the Glazers' pocket.
He went to the Glazers' pocket.
So
Yeah,
we're still in the same financial issue situation. Nothing has gone to come in, and there's a certain way. He's just a minority shareholder trying to fix. But I think also that ever since Sir Jim Ratcliffe took over and Ineos, everyone forgot about the Glazers. They were comfortably sitting in the background, you know, because now everyone, it was a smoke and mirror. Everyone now is focusing on INEOS, and they did this massive PR. Oh, we're getting a sporting director, we're getting the best in class people, this and that stadium. The only thing that they did, kudos to appoint Omar Barada, Dan Ashworth, which they fired, a technical director, proper competent people. But the problem that they
Yeah.
did was to keep Ten Hag way too long, which cost money. At the end of the
Yeah.
day, and by doing so, firing him 3 quarters in the season, they pretty much told the fans, we are writing off the season. Because now Ruben Amorim is coming in and said, well, hang on, I didn't have a preseason. This is not my players. What?
Yeah.
How? This is basically an experiment, man.
So I think what how they did it, because at this point I don't know what happened. Because when they was trying to fire Ten Hag, I think we heard about Tuchel, we heard about Southgate, we heard about Potter, we heard about Mick, the one from Ipswich. I forgot
Brentford, Thomas
his.
Frank.
Yeah, we heard about all of those. We never heard about Amarin at all. So I think he was out of the question.
He
To
was not reachable.
when
He was not reachable at that time.
he was unreachable at that time. So I think that's the reason why they didn't do it. So when he was reachable, I think that's when they put the plug on Ten Hag. By then it was already too late. That's what I
I,
think.
I think they
I'm
ran
not
out of
saying that
time.
the Glaze. I'm not saying that. Yeah, we run it out of time. But
They ran out of time.
as long as Amorim keep persisting on playing the style that he wants and keep find your best players, and we don't get relegated. Look, I don't care if we stay in 15th or 10th, as long as you could drill this thing into these players, because these players are stubborn. How many managers
Yeah.
have they fired?
Yeah.
I don't care what position we are.
So,
We could be in 15th or 10th. As long as we could win the Europa League, we could win the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup. I'm asking for too much, but we could win two. We could win one out of these two, out of these three, and then
listen,
build on it. You know?
preach. I was talking to Nuruddin from United Real Therapy the other day as well, and
Yeah,
he said something to me like, and he said, I drop off all the cup competition, just focus on one game a week, so Ruben Amorim can
yeah,
work with his team
that
because
makes
he don't
sense.
have
Yeah,
time to train.
he
There's no
doesn't have
time.
time to train. Yeah. So I
Mm,
was saying, I know a lot of Manchester United fans is right now say, okay, we won the FA Cup last year. Get out of it.
yeah.
Get out of it. I don't care. It's only
Okay.
two clubs that has. There's only two clubs that has only. Okay, it's Arsenal that has 14. United has 13.
Yeah.
Okay, let them take it. They might not even win it because they're gonna be saying that okay, we're trying to win the Premier League. They're still in the Championship League.
Yeah.
It,
Zeus is a
so
brilliant name. Zeus is a brilliant. This giant, the biblical Zeus, and this kind of
yeah,
resonates with Man United. And again, I would say that I like what Amorim was saying. Man United is the biggest club in the world, but we're not longer the biggest team in the world, and he wants
no,
to
we're
make it
not.
big. In order to
Yeah,
do so, now I'm going to preach. In order to do so, it's clear and evidential for me that INEOS is certainly just there to restructure. They have limited time. They see this as a venture capital, right? He's in a rush. He needs to get
yeah,
this right, right? So that
yeah,
means that they then you don't just invest 2 million without expecting return on investment. You can talk shit as much as you want. I don't need money. Bullshit. No billionaire is investing without even having money. And you can see that they are slashing down the ticket prices. They're removing the tickets from Busby Bay family members, which is absolutely the core and foundation of our culture,
our
right?
club. Yeah, yeah,
And the
yeah,
club.
yeah,
Season ticket holders are the heart and soul. Without season ticket holders, without regular members, you don't get that spirit week
yeah,
in and week out at Old Trafford. You want to be like a empty hat. You want to sell out to tourists. Sell
nah.
the tourist package with the museum, 120K. Come on, right? So for me, this is a paper of the crack. They just basically put Sir Jim Ratcliffe, gave him the contract at 25% so they can have the money. In the interim, they can restructure the club and take the heat off the Glazers. But now I
Yeah,
think the paper of the crack is starting to
it's
reveal
starting to
themselves.
show.
He's
Yeah,
starting to
yeah,
show the true face, but increasing the ticket prices, pissing off. I mean, what would be the club? I mean, what is a business without its customers? and we fans are the customers, right? We know what's wrong. We see whose plays don't fit the system, right? We see how much they've been unfairly treated. You perform on the training ground, great, you get into the squad, and then you do jack shit on the squad in match day, right? Because in your contract you're undroppable. Now the only way that Ruben Amorim can make this team again great again is to basically have full autonomy to say, Rashford, you go in January. I don't give a shit if you're 350k and the club is utilizing you as a poster boy. I don't give a shit as a fan, right? Dalot, exposed, you cannot play. We are not like sentimental FC anymore. We want to
Yeah.
be back at the top, and this is what he promised. So I only go what they promised. We want to take Manchester back to be top again by 2028. Right, dude, that's 4 years away from now. Do we have
Yeah.
patience?
Yeah. When they said that 2028 is going to be our anniversary, so we need to win something. I'm like, really? So if that's that case, you need this summer, this January, you need to get rid of all of this deadwood. If you're still gonna lose money, or what you could do, Rashford and Bruno, or take them, do what they call a loan. I would say keep Dallo because we only have one right back, and just keep him there just to come
Yeah,
off the
to
bench.
fight out the quest. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because
But I hear
we
what
don't
you're
want to keep
saying.
Mazzaroni by himself.
Yeah,
Because right now, if Dallo do go, we only have one, and then look sure you can't even rely on him. Malasia, our whole back line is already gone.
dude,
So
I
if
hear
we
what you're
keep the
saying, but I look at
yeah
it from a business perspective. I look at what do
yeah
we have to sell? What assets do we have to sell? Because if we are broke and stint, we don't have any money. You need to sell certain assets, and who can you
do we
sell?
have do we have anybody from the youth academy that could play around those left
Probably,
wing
but
and
he
right
hasn't
wing
had time. He hasn't had time to assess and bring him up as of yet because we're playing 2 games in a week, and that's why I
two
see a
games?
lot
Yeah,
of people say cups should be easier games for players, like Mark is saying. But I said, like, yeah, in this state, I don't see us winning Europa League. I don't see us even challenging for top four. I don't see
no,
that, right? I
no,
don't see that because for me, it was evidential as soon as you sacked Ten Hag in 3 quarters into the season, playing 9 games and replaced with another manager, it's mission impossible. This guy
it's
comes in
impossible.
and
Yeah,
trying to change the system as well with the 3-4-3 system, and it will take time to teach these imbeciles how to
yeah.
play football, right? How to play football, right? I saw like on many occasions. I mean, Dalot for me last season was arguably the player of the year in
The
Manchester
player of the
United.
year. Yeah,
This
yeah.
year, stink up the
He's
place.
just
Jogging,
no,
he
he
looks
did.
tired, lethargic, nowhere to see, no spatial awareness. And we know that we need especially left wing back, and that's why reports are coming out to say we're looking at Theo Hernandez, we're looking at Milos Kerkez, which contract is out of in summer. We're looking at Alfonso Davis, but nobody really knows if Alfonso is going to renew, sign a new deal with Bayern. But until now, he's an open target. It's much more better what we need, right?
I think if Alfonso Davis, if Real Madrid pull out, I think he will come to United. Because if he goes to United, I think
Yeah, but if
Canada will be proud of him
yeah,
for doing that.
if you
So
look
I
at the
think
comments, yeah, if you look at what Mark is saying in the comments, Dalot is not a left wing back. He's a right back,
he's a
right?
right back. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we don't have a left wing back. We've
We
been
don't.
crying out ever since the summer. Even Fabrizio Romano was saying, "Oh, Man United is looking for a something in 25 million range left back." Right? We haven't got that.
Yeah,
Luke Shaw is not reliable. Luke Shaw needs to go 100%.
yeah. He
Right?
has to go. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
You
don't
can't
care
do
about the
bring him
statement
off.
he put out, like in the leg break. I covered this, but I look at from a club perspective. We cannot be like how do I say, nursing home FC. We're here to
Right.
win titles. Yeah, we cannot
Yeah,
we cannot do a Phil Jones, like let you just receive you weekly because we feel sorry for you.
yeah, yeah,
No, you
yeah,
got to players that need to be reliable, be on the pitch. You cannot play Tyrell Malacia because he's not good enough either, right? He's
yeah,
good as a left back, but attacking is bad. We haven't seen
yeah.
the likes
He's
of
a good
Harry
squad
Amas.
player. Yeah,
Mm, yeah. And Harry Amos, we saw like Harry Amos doing a great job in against Mo Salah in the preseason, but since then we haven't seen, right? So what do we
No.
do? What do we do? You know? So I said in January we need to sell certain assets, and I said if you sell Dalot, then you will have money to bring in an important left wing back. You know?
Yeah. I think yeah, or it's him or Marcus Rashford. Both of them will bring a lot of money.
Yeah,
But then,
we can raise over 100.
yeah, if I was Rashford, you need a different scenery.
Yeah,
Go to look in the Premier League at this age. Rashford is not good, but I guarantee you, if Rashford goes to a different club,
yeah.
he's gonna terrorize them. Even though his pace is not as good anymore, but I think he will destroy La Liga or whatever the case is,
He
or
will.
even France.
He will because
So
you
if
know
I was
why?
him,
You know
yeah,
why?
go ahead.
It's not Premier League. He's got more time on the ball.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know. So I think it's a good idea for him to go just before you tend to your legacy at United.
Mm.
Look at Rooney. Rooney stayed too long. You know, so if Rashford could say, "No, okay, I did everything I can. I'm never going to win a Premier League with Manchester United. Let me go.
Yeah.
Just go do how many years, and then if you see Manchester United doing bits and they actually go in there, just come back like Pogba.
Yeah.
United will happily welcome you back, and you by then we're a well-run team, whatever the case is, and you could lift up a Premier League or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
So Rashford go to a different team, get your
Listen.
your 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 affairs and orders and stuff like that.
Listen, there is a. He's not even picked for England team. I mean, I got to be critical. I think that Rashford's been found out in the Premier League. Everyone knows what he's going to do. He keeps taking on defenders, trying to do the spectacular and crashing in and losing the ball. Right.
Just
This
do
is
the
what I
simple
think.
things. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Everyone
You
that's
know,
watching, please in the VR room, you're brilliant. You see yourself there. Please, if you are watching in retrospect and watching us, smash the like button. Smash the like button. We have Zeus in the house, all the way from USA.
hey,
Hey, 12 hours difference between you and me, my friend, but we're still talking
I
passionately.
know, right? I know, right?
It's crazy, isn't it? Isn't it?
So
So,
it is. I don't know. It's oh my god. I think, like you said before, we don't have a football director at this point, and that's a bad
but do we
idea.
need one? Do we need one?
I think we
I mean,
do.
okay,
Just okay. Let me say this: if Amorim doesn't have to worry about bringing in players, and you could trust the club to bring in players, and then they give you like, okay, let's make an example. They bring him four players, the way he could play his style, and he say, you know what, I like this player. Like what we thought about what Ten Hag was going to be doing. Okay,
okay.
give us four players, and I'll pick out of all the four players. I'll make the last decision. I think that will work. But if they're going to give him a players that doesn't fit his system, and he doesn't like it, it's not going to work.
Yeah,
So I think we will need a football director in that sense.
yeah.
But if they bring in players that he actually wants, yes, then we don't need a football director.
I'm going to tell you my theory, what happened here. But big up everyone in the VR room, and, Mark is saying
Big up, everybody.
Mark Nurse is saying that Theo Hernandez is what we need. Rashford is not legacy anymore. It's done. He's done. He's done at this
Yeah,
club.
he's
Fans
gone.
have lost it.
Yeah,
Theo Hernandez is worth is available for 50 million euros. What I read as well. So big up. Everyone seems to want Theo Hernandez. He's a bowler. He's definitely a bowler. Much more upgrade. But I'm gonna give you my theory why I think that Dan Ashworth got fired. It's something called organizational development when they do the assessment. Dude, the guy was not proactive enough. They realized that we have competent people that can do the job, right? You have,
Yeah.
Jean-Claude Blanc that's rebuilt many clubs, including PSG and Juventus. When Juventus was in crisis, he helped them out. Even when they were relegated, Jean-Claude Blanc built a stadium, right? So he's there in the
Yeah.
fray. Then you have the likes of Wilcox, more dynamic, and also Omar Barada, which is not a mug either as a CEO. So they probably looked at it. So why are we overpaying here? There's too many chefs in the kitchen. We can simply remove this job, save ourselves some money, a couple of millions, and
Yeah.
delegate the role. But the problem is, who is the contact person? Who is
Yeah.
responsible? And then you have the brilliant recruitment head of recruitment, Christopher Vevel, that can do the job as well. So they probably looked at it from an organizational development and say, listen, you're a misfit, you don't fit. We have four people that can do the job. What do we need you for? So we are cutting down the costs here. We're removing, increasing tickets price. We are looking at every single corner and angle where we can actually cut down costs, right? This is my
Yeah.
theory. But however, what media is reporting, I don't buy into it. You know why? For over 20 years, I've been working in HR and recruitment on the senior level. If you are getting dismissed and escorted in the back door by security and the chief operating officer, that means that you have done something more,
Yeah.
right? It ain't that reason because you recommended in the boardroom. Hey, by the way, Southgate for manager, Eddie Howe as manager. That's not a sackable offense, right? So I believe behind the scenes there's something more. He might have called something cunt or fuck you or you know what I mean, or done something really really sloppy behind the scenes. He did that with Newcastle with a leaked email. Remember sloppiness.
Yeah.
So I was thinking maybe he was speaking to Arsenal like behind the scenes because they're looking for a sporting director. They were poaching him, they found out, whatever. But you just simply don't. You're sitting there 20 minutes after the game, you get called down. 20 minutes later, they escort you out. So they must find some evidence to say this is sackable offense because this is hurting the club's, the club. This is a security breach.
Yeah.
This is the only one where you get sacked and escorted out the back door. And then you see the statement, what they released, very short, very nothing. And then, of course, you leak out to the PR, like, to save your face as INEOS, because you sacked Eric Ten Hag, now you're sacking another sporting director, and you're saving yourself and leaking out stories that, yeah, it was him that kept Ten Hag, and there was him that wanted Southgate. I mean, it's a PR machine in the making, just to cover up. My wildest theory.
I mean, you might be right, but I just think, like you said before, Ineos just realized that he's not cut up for the work.
He's a fraud. Because
Not in
if you
that
look at,
sense.
yeah, look
So
at what Wolf Stewart was writing here in the comments. People were saying that at Newcastle, Brighton, and England, he surrounded himself with people that did the job for him.
yeah,
That was his reputation. Like
that's
he recommended.
yeah,
No wonder we were linked to Brentwaite, Southgate, Potter, stuff like that. Part of it's probably
yeah.
true. But that's not a sackable offense.
No. So I think this is what happened. They brought him in, like you said.
Mm.
This they see his work ethic or whatever the case is. They say like, nah, you're not meant for Manchester United. We don't want you.
Yeah,
It's like you chasing a girl for so many years, and she finally give you a chance,
yeah,
and then you realize, oh my god, no, I don't want you anymore.
yeah.
So I think
Anyway,
that's what it is, you know.
that's what it is. Anyway, there was a damning report. I'm reading it right now on one football app. Report: true
Yeah,
cost of Man United's failed Dan Ashworth appointment revealed. Now here comes the nitty gritty. I believe in finances. I follow the money. That's what you should always do, right? Don't follow what gossip. But Manchester United, they chased Dan Ashford for months and months. They
yeah,
haggled down the price. They paid the release clause, and look what's happening here. Like this is shambolic, right? Um, the new the news is that Man United spent 5 million on recruiting Ashford, right? In addition to the 10.5 million it cost to dismiss Eric Ten Hag, only Eric Ten Hag only, but they also have to dismiss his backroom stuff as well.
yeah,
So an estimation that's already 20 million spent there already, something the club didn't have, you know. Um, And that was months after they did trigger like an extension in his clause. They should have just cut
Yeah,
costs there straight away
they
and
should have
go
just cut it.
for.
Yeah,
Mm. And they spent similar 10 million to poach Ruben Amorim from Sporting. That's already up in 30 million, right?
yeah, that's a lot of money right there.
That's a smack in the face for fans and staff feeling the pinch of the revenue driving initiatives and ruthlessness cost cutting. Under recent development, remaining unsold tickets 24-25 season will be paid at 66 quid, removing concession rates. Even kids has to pay, pensioners has to pay. And even that, they have this silly app that even you as a season ticket holder, if you don't go to the game, it goes to the club so they can resell it. Yeah?
Oh wow.
There was reports saying even if it was empty seats, the club sold it for 120, double the price. Double the price, right? Meanwhile, around 250 staff lost their jobs. And meanwhile, we're reporting they revoked the season tickets from Busby Babes' family survivor members on the Munich air disaster. They removed Sir Alex Ferguson as an ambassador who was earning about 1.7 million. This telling me that there are penny pinching. They're broke. They're broke. They're not doing us fans a favor. So that goes back to the story. We are screwed in the transfer market. We need to sell assets. Like that's what you see that are willing to listen in the office for Marcus Rashford and Diogo Dalot and whoever bought in that ridiculous price for 90 million for the fidget spinner,
I
Anthony Dos
mean,
Santos. That's not working out.
I mean, this one the Anthony signing you blame on the Glazers because they scouted him and the scouts came back and said he was worth 20 million or 15 million. And out of nowhere, instead of you buying the player right then and there, you waited to the last
Yeah,
minute. And Ajax said you took Ten Hag, you took Lissandro Martinez,
yeah.
and who else did it? And who they were trying to take Timber. Then they said no. So Manchester was still persistent. It's okay. If you want him, 98 million, 100 million, just walking away. You could have used that money to go and get two players. But no, you decided to go and get him. Now it fall in your face. You can't even get
Yeah,
rid of him. Anthony is going to
true.
be here for 5 more years.
Well, and that's the thing. They have a player contract. You can't get rid of them.
You
Just gonna
can't.
go to the chat. Like D4 Rooster. How come United People's TV? Sam, big up Sam. He's a brilliant. He never sleeps. Gets the
What's up,
scoop on United
Sam?
News. Now annoys me always first. Now it depends on you don't have to get scoop. You just have to sort of never sleep and just scout everything that you say. It's not always been the case. I like Sam because he provides like us a voice of reasoning. Like you look at it from a club perspective, from two sides of the story, not spews for views in a way. Um, just a question according to Chunky Dave here says, was there not a team lineup leak earlier in the day against Nottingham Forest? Could have been Ashworth. Could have been. Reports were saying that he felt undermined, that he came here, thought he would have more power. And there was something with this rainbow inclusion as well that was leaked out to the press as well. And there might be something that they found out who leaked it out. I don't
I
know.
mean, Manchester United has been leaking since the Glazers got here,
Oh
so they're
shit, yeah,
still leaking. So I'm not gonna blame this on him. But lately, when the INEOS came in, they like to keep stuff tight-lipped. If we're gonna get somebody, they don't say who we're gonna get it.
yeah.
Then the last minute, we know. So like that, I think INEOS is good in that sense. You know. So they could see them a mile away when Glazers. I mean the Glazers is still here, but they're back seat now. But now it's a little bit harder for you to determine which play we're gonna get, and then out of nowhere we get good players. You know,
Volp
so
Stew. I got you. Got to read the comment. Volp Stew. Dan Leakworth. Stew, you crack me up,
oh
man. Seriously.
wow,
Yeah. Just
wow.
going to answer the question from Thomas as well. Mick, do you think that Barada seems to know what's the next step and which direction we need to go since he was quick on land Amarin? Yeah, 100%. I mean,
Yeah,
this is what I'm trying to say as well. This is backing the tape to say we probably might not get a sporting director because Omar
yeah.
Barada knows his stuff, right? So
He
he
knows
might
his
take a
stuff.
yeah, he knows his stuff, right? So he's got the backup by Jean-Claude Blanc that's been rebuilding clubs as well. But there's one person that I would like to bring in, and there's the open heart surgeon Ralph Ragnick that called it
I would
out.
love him there. I
I
think
love
the
him because
place
he
will,
built clubs.
if he comes there, I think the place will jump because he already know the place already, and he already
Yeah,
said it already. We need open heart surgery. The
snakes on the
place
plane,
would
man.
be the place would be scared. So I think we should get him, but I don't think they're gonna get him. I think they'll be scared to get him because he will say stuff that INEOS will not like and the Glazers will not like. But you know, I just pray we could get him
Yeah,
because like that, he knows. Okay, he's a coach too, and he's a very good damn coach too. So but I'm just praying this works out with Amorim
yeah,
because I'll be so disappointed because when we get Ten Hag, I wanted this to work so badly because there was no upcoming manager then when we got Eric. So now
true.
he's gone. Amarin is here. Now we don't know who's the next upcoming manager. All the upcoming managers have already in Chelsea, Ipswich. They're already settled. They're not going to
Yeah,
come out from where they are and come to United. So I would like them to. This is an ADO signing, so they will want this to work. I just hope they give him everything he needs, like how they gave Ten Hag. Okay, maybe Ten Hag was an example of saying, okay, we gave him one more, we extended your contract for 1 more year. We're gonna give you what you can. We're gonna give you what you want, and when you fail at it, we're gonna bring in our own manager and also give him what he wants. Hopefully that works. Hopefully that
right.
Eric Ten
So
Hag was an
we have
example.
moving on to another story that there is a sporting
Yes,
midfielder that Manchester United was heavily scouting, and there was no other than what's his name, Hjulmand, the Danish guy. We can get him for 40 million. He's doing bits of madness. He worked under Amorim. We are linked to him. What are your thoughts and feelings? We're definitely linked to him and also Victor Gyökeres. We have a gentleman's agreement, but that is kind of a summer signing. We know we're
what
going to
kind of
lose. We know we're going to lose Ericsson, so he might be an Ericsson replacement.
that's good. That's good because I think the midfield is getting better in the sense that we only have two people that are past it, Casemiro and Ericsson. So
Hmm.
we already have Mainu, we already have Agate. If you could get this player, that's three. And hopefully, whatever happens to Bruno in the summer, if you could replace him, we could have at least another 5 years of
No,
good
I don't think
midfielders.
Bruno is going anywhere. I don't think Bruno is going in anywhere. He just signed a new contract. Unless the club is deciding that he's one of the asset players that can get a lot of money for to sell, then 100%, right? Um,
Yeah,
but the problem what this team has is we don't have the leaders on the pitch anymore. We don't have creative players that can instigate the attack, right? We don't have a goalkeeper that commands the box and communicates properly, right? We
no,
know Onana is not good enough. He's been okay this season, saving us, but last game was a conundrum in my opinion. Um,
me too.
last season we were open in the midfield and we conceded too many goals. We fixed it this season. I think that Lenny Euro is coming back in. Lisandro Martinez is showing that he's too slow in delivering the ball, and the ball should be moving fast, right? I don't mind Lisandro Martinez. I love Lisandro Martinez, but the signing of the season, the cheapest signing was Mazarawi. What a Swiss Army knife he is. I think that the defense and midfield is okay with Ugarte, but we haggled 2 months over Ugarte, and I would say that cost us the start of the season because we didn't have our senior new signings into the door and cost us the points in the beginning. And then Ten Hag couldn't sort of squeeze the mustard and got sacked. So for me, I would just give the season as a write-off, in my opinion. See how far we can go in the Europa League because Europa League can get into to Champions League. And again, we need the money because let's face it, sponsors are sponsoring Man United because Champions League and stuff like that, right?
Yeah,
So we need that money. I see it difficult for us even to get into top four unless something has to give in terms of cup competitions, right? Drop off from FA Cup, Carabao Cup, just focus on Europa League and potentially Premier League. What's your point?
yeah. I think that makes sense. Let's just focus on the Premier League and the Europa League. Drop out from the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, and just focus on two of these places. Because if you could focus on two of those places, you have more time to drill to drill the players, to show them how to play, and you have more time on the practice team, So I
Mm.
think it's better to do it, but I don't know if that's what the glaze. I don't know if that's what Ineos wants, and I don't
I don't
think
know.
that's what.
I think
Yeah,
I think that
if
Ineos right now, listen, I think that Ineos right now are so concerned about the FFP, the financial fair play.
yeah,
Rashford financial flair play is no longer flair player, in my opinion. I mean, evidential is gathering up how I've been writing things down, what I've been mentioning on the stream. Simply, what I did a video yesterday that we are heading towards bankruptcy because people say, "Are you mad?" Well, I look at the financial reports; it don't lie. Yeah, we maxed out all the credit facilities with Santander. Yeah, we maxed out the Bank of America. We don't have any more credits, and the Cayman Island account is kind of also empty. We don't have any more credit facilities. Sure, you can refinance this, but it does, the bank don't want it. They want to have the money back. That's the thing.
yeah,
You're also increasing the ticket prices. Tells you that you don't have money, right? You're looking to get rid of Marcus Rashford because he's kind of 350K a week. That was sort of burden you out. But the way you're doing it for the fans, I mean, I agree with get rid of Marcus Rashford and the high players like Casemiro should be long gone already. That's how you can save
yeah.
money, but not to increase the ticket prices, mate. That is a blow towards the fans, in my opinion.
Uh, if they're gonna do that, hopefully they tell us that okay, we're gonna raise the ticket prices at this point to get money to able to do what we want to do. And when we reach where we're supposed to leave, reach, then we could lower back the tickets. If they could do that, and because right now everybody know Ineos, the way the Glazers gave us debt, they need to find something. Something has to give. So if they could raise the ticket prices and say, you know what, okay, you guys, later on in the next 3 years, if we get out the debt and get the stadium fixed or whatever the case is, we'll lower down the
Yeah.
tickets and we'll give back the season ticket holders back to people.
Yeah, but
If they could,
I understand what they're doing, and Jarl is making a point. If their club is on the verge of bankruptcy, they need to raise the prices. But I would also say one thing more: Glazers could be the financial tool to force the Glazers finally out the club. Yeah, they are the
yeah,
main shareholders. They're the ones that's saying yes or no. They have the financial power. There's certain ways as a minority investor you cannot pump in your own money. You've seen that
yeah,
Saudi that owns Newcastle can't pump in the money. So even if Sir Jim Ratcliffe pumps in 200 million, you cannot clear the debt. The only way here is somebody buys out the remaining of the Class B shares, like say INEOS goes and buys in the Class B shares. But I'm not confident in them running the club either. I just take a benchmark and look at Lausanne and Nice, how they run that club as well. You know, um, so I'm literally worried about Ruben Amorim coming in here. Did they lie to him potentially to say, "Well, come in now"? He said it to them like, "Could I wait till next season? I want to finish here." No, it's now or never. Did they promise something to him? Oh, you will get backing. You will get, you will get Victor Gurkeres. You will get some place in January. You'll be good to go. But if you look at the finances and the reports coming in, that need to sell Rashford, Dalot, and other players, something ain't right.
so I think Ineos will back him. They did that with Ten Hag. So I think they will not back maybe this year, no. Maybe the second season they will back him. And his last season they will back him.
Yeah, it's
Because
summer.
I think so I think and I don't think Amarin is gonna be here for 2 years. I think he's gonna be here for 3 years or 4 years. Because the way he speaks and the way he's sticking to his guns, I think he will stay here longer. At least 3 years tops. So I think the last 2 years they will give him what he wants. I think just
Yeah,
January and
yeah,
this summer is gonna
yeah.
be a little bit harder,
Yeah.
you know.
I agree with you there. You know, the evidence points towards that way that once they sacked Ten Hag and appointed Ruben Amorim, it was kind of a season write-off because you can't
Yeah,
turn it around over one night. You know what I mean? You didn't have a preseason. This is not your players. You are trying in the middle of a season to find out who they are. Do they fit in your system? For me, it's a concession to say we give up the season, right?
yeah,
Yeah. So it makes sense to say, okay, experiment, elaborate to the end of the season, and then we back in the summer, right?
yeah,
Because then you have more time. You get your players in the door. You will have a proper preseason. We go on tour, and then we go again next season. But if we can get into Champions League, that's a bonus. If you win Europa League, that's a bonus. If you can get it to top four with this because of your track record, that's why we hired you. That's a bonus. But in order to do so, he must be looking at, oh shit, they fired my boss. Who do I report to now?
yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, United are in the shambles. Like, there's no
Yeah.
day that you don't get up and there's nothing crazy going on.
Yeah.
I can't remember a day that you get up and you don't hear anything negative. It's always something going on.
Yeah.
So I just hope we could turn a corner this with Amarin. And okay, now we have at least a couple of people in the right places.
Yeah.
I
Listen,
just hope we.
I was running a poll here from the very first beginning. There's 300 of you watching live right now. If we can get 300 likes, I don't know what it takes to get likes from people. It is
Come on,
absolutely free
people.
content. Free content. It
You're
looks like that.
watching.
It's a thumb. It's a thumb. You guys watching there. You're guilty. Give us a thumbs up. Smash the like button, please. I run a poll from the very first beginning. Would you sell Rashford in January? 50 votes says 89% yes. That
That's
tells you where
good.
the fan base is.
Yeah. I
I
think the
mean,
fan base is.
let's just face it. Like, I just want to be clear. Like, I'm not here bullying any player. I'm here because
No.
I look at the system. I look at enough is enough. We need players that can adapt, that can run for Ruben Amorim, and then that can actually win us things. Right now, this is a mismatch of everything. You're having players that not used to running in training. If you look at other teams in stats, they run harder and longer statistically than Man United. You look at Diogo Dalot in the last games, he was jogging behind. Spatial awareness nowhere to be seen. Bombing forward, cutting in the midfield still. Rashford, not a number 10. They don't look motivated. They don't look happy. The only one that I'd say, keep the youngsters because
Yeah,
youngsters
keep
are
them. Yeah.
adaptable, right? It didn't take Amad Diallo that long to understand what the hell manager wants, and he gives it all, right? What I'm saying, the reason why you should abolish these senior players, let me tell you why. Because there's a hierarchy in the dressing room, 100%, how long you've been there, right?
Yeah.
Rashford is one of the senior players, 27 years of age. Luke Shaw is one of them as well. They have a say. And then you have youngsters looking up to them and say, whoa, if he can get away with it, I will get away with
Okay.
it. And that
Yeah.
becomes a rot. So it ain't matter who you sign in the summer window. 5 months later, they will be complacent because they look at what other players like Rashford getting paid 350K a week is doing and getting away with it. And this is where you have to start. Cut off the head of the snake and start over again.
Jose Marino said there's still. I wanted to sell players and they're still at the club. You know. So yes, just get rid of them. The only reason I want to get rid of Rashford is he's an academy player and he's been here for years. If Rashford was performing in and out, 20 goals, 15 goals each season. Look, you don't have to make 30 or 40. Consistently, if you could make 15 goals or 20 goals each season, I think nobody would tell him to leave. But one season he's good, the next season he just goes back down. One season he's up, the next season he
Mm.
goes completely.
I
People
think
are
I
just
think I
tired, you
yeah,
know?
I think Marche, big up for you to come in and say no matter how the office is looking, the pieces on the field don't fit are done 100%. Look,
Yeah.
it's a calamity of years of Glazers giving the freedom to certain fostering the player power, but the mood is now described that the INEOS is even worse than when it was where we had. low ceilings under the old regime because they're cutting down nobody knows what's going on with the jobs. People losing the jobs. They're penny pinching everything. They cancel the Christmas dinner for. I mean, what kind of culture is that? You work for a company, you want to be sort of kind of treated well. Like they took away like tickets, free freebies and stuff like that, and they canceled Christmas. I mean, this is Ebenezer Scrooge. I look at Jim.
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
Scrooge. Cringe. So we got to call it out, like and not a lot of people do that, and a lot of fan channels don't do that either. Like they got sucked in. Oh, we're getting finally. You know what? 25% is not good enough for you to make enough changes, right? You're definitely an investor. You want to do the right thing, but you are rushing it, right? You got it wrong with Dan Ashworth. You looked at it and say from organizational development, well, I have four people that can do the job. Let's delegate and
yeah,
save money. Simple as that. Let's sell some players, raise money, and let's hope we appoint the right coach that can take us, the head coach that can take us to the promised land. But if they don't do the right thing to cut the head off the snake, to get rid of these deadwoods, the influencers in the dressing room, Ruben Amorim will fail as well. And there's the cycle, mate.
yeah. I think if, but I think the way this, I think out of the managers that we got, I think Ruben will make it.
Yeah,
uh, Will
yeah.
make it because this is the first time they actually picked who. This is look. The Glazers has been here for 15, 18 years. We've never
They need
seen
to go.
this before.
They need to go.
They need to go. So if I was Jim Ratcliffe, I would just say, you know what? I need to find somebody else that could come and join with me, and we'll buy at a club.
No,
If they could
the
do that,
mistake.
just
The mistake here. The takeaway point is okay. The takeaway point. The club spent 30 million in total.
yeah,
30 million to sack Ten Hag and his backroom staff, to bring in Ruben Amorim and his backroom staff. 30 million it cost the club. 30 million that could gone to the transfer window in January.
yeah.
So equally, INEOS are at fault here. That's what I'm trying to say. You
Yes,
know.
they are. Yes, they are. I know I know they're kicking themselves. They said, "Damn, we could like just kick. We should like just sack him." And
Yeah, but and that's why I'm saying that's inevitable now. They're trying to save face by putting out positive PR that it's not our fault.
yeah,
Yeah, the scapegoat is Ashford here. It's his fault. I mean,
nah.
wake up from the coffee. They're leaking our story. Oh, it was him, Southgate. Matter of fact, it was also the Southgate story came also from Dale Bracewell. That was his biggest fan as well. You know,
Yeah,
who did the strategical review? Dave Brailsford, right? So now they're shifting the blame on one person that they sacked. They say it's all his fault. You know, hear no evil, see no evil. You know what I mean? Look at that way. Don't
yeah.
look at us. Yeah.
I think they need to take the blame for themselves. Take your blame and then move on. Just come out and say, okay, we made a mistake. We're still learning, not learning, but we're still getting the pieces right. We saw something that we didn't like and we took action. We apologize. Let's just move on. You come out and
Bro,
just say that. I think the fans will say, no, okay. At
bro.
least you admitted to your mistakes.
Yeah,
You
bro, they're
know.
pissing on the wrong tree, in my opinion. Manchester United would not be anything without the fans. You know,
Yeah,
that's why we say we are
that
the
is true.
biggest club in the world. But you don't do that to fans, right? We suffered
Yeah.
18 years under the Glazers, and now you're
And then
coming
the
in to do
Glazers,
what?
yeah,
To do what? Increase the ticket prices. Um, you make mistakes, fine. Rome wasn't built in one day. You try to say that it's the best in class people. Yeah, fine, but it's going to take time. It's going to take time because it's not 1999, in my opinion. And that's about it, people. We're going to wrap up this stream as per usual. We always voice our voice of opinion. It's been on debut from Zeus all the way from USA. Whereabouts in
thank
US
you,
are you
thank
from,
you.
Zeus, man? Where are you?
I I'm in Yonkers right now.
You New
I
York?
was in, yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh, Big
I'm
Apple.
in New
Cool.
York right now. Yeah, yeah, Big Apple.
Man,
So
that's a huge fan base. You see, the biggest fan base right now is in US. That's the thing.
yeah, the when we played the FA Cup final, I went to work. I had my jersey on. When I was leaving and going to work, we were winning by I think one goal. And then I think I got on the train and we were leading by two goals. And then I got to work and I don't know how long later on I think Manchester City caught up. My lunchtime, we won the game. I was going to lunch and I saw a guy with Manchester City shirt on.
Ah,
I
oh
ran
yeah.
behind him. I ran in front of him. I was like, yes. And you should see his girlfriend almost crying, you know.
They
But
are.
yeah,
Oh.
that's
Manchester
the
City
first time
fans,
I've
in my
seen.
opinion, they used most of the City fans that I spoke to, they used to support another club and they jump ship. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
the jump ship. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's,
yeah.
listen,
You
guys, a
know,
massive big up for Zeus as well. I give you this one. This is the guy. We're going to see
I
more of.
appreciate it, guys.
Listen, and City, by the way, we're playing City on the weekend. It's a good time to play City. They're a wounded animal. Like, it was a blip. They lost seven in a row. They had a bounce and they drew again, and they are mentally destroyed. And plus,
Every
Premier League, there was some report coming out that there's additional 113 breaches against Premier League plus the 115
15. Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah, I just hope every time is Manchester United is supposed to break a record, we always lose a record. Like a couple of days ago, we're supposed. Forest never beat us for 30 years, and the 30 years mark came and they beat us. I'm like,
that came from
but
stupid mistakes. Stupid
yeah,
mistake.
yeah. So I just hope we put a
Yeah.
sword on Manchester City and beat them at least, so we could go on
Listen, I
and
was given stick from my brother, my best friend. He's a Gooner supporter. It's like, ha ha, you guys are shit. And I said, what are you talking about? You played 1-1 and then was a set piece corner again. Is that how you're going to win the league? Set pieces. You hired a set piece coach just for set pieces. You got found out you were playing possession based football. Now you lost it. Now you're playing long ball FC and you're playing set pieces.
I
Eventually,
think
you're
I,
going to be found out.
I think the thing about Arsenal is that they were good at a lot of stuff. But when they found out, we could actually use this set piece to score a lot of goals. Let's forget about everything. I think they go on the training ground and just do set pieces for like 3 hours, 2 hours. And
Yeah.
then that's what they do. Because what we did is we prevented them from doing playing in the middle to go forward to open. But I just didn't understand the players. Arsenal are good at set pieces. Why are you giving them set pieces?
Yeah, but
Kick the ball all the way, kick the ball different ways so that they could kick the set piece. You know, but it was just too much.
Zeus. There's only
Yeah,
there's certain time period you can utilize until you be found out because they're going to study it. All you need to do is to move two defenders in the back post as well to block the path.
yeah,
They cannot run forward. You know what I mean? It's so
yeah,
simple.
yeah.
But now teams are shocked because they've never seen this before. Because there's a lot of running and shoving going on, and the VR cannot pick up if it's a push and a shove, and they're going straight at the goalkeeper as well. They're going to be found out sooner or later. But listen,
I mean,
the dark.
they already did. One more thing, they already did it by Fulham.
Yeah,
How many set pieces did they have? And they only scored one from Fulham.
yeah.
So a lot of next season, Arsenal is not going to be the same Arsenal.
Nah.
And if Arsenal doesn't win the Premier League this year, Arteta needs to get sacked. Look, I
Yeah, but
want
that's
Arsenal
what I'm
to win.
saying. I agree what you're saying there because Arteta is being found out and he's tinkering every year. Um, 3 years ago, before they got Declan Rice, they were going on this pedal to the metal rock and roll football. They tap out,
Yeah,
right? They choke. 20 minutes hardcore, go for the kill, go for the choke, score 2 goals. Next season, they got Declan Rice in. They're playing possession based football. That didn't work. They didn't win the league. Now he's changing what? Changing style again and focusing. Got in a set pieces coach thinking that's going to be the weapon. I mean, come on. And you talking to
you're not
me, and
gonna.
look where they are in the listen. One club that is sneaking under the radar, which is like
It's
clueless.
Chelsea.
Oh, Enzo Maresca, man, Enzo Maresca. He's
I
got the
think
most.
he's. I think this season, him and Slot is doing good. But I think next season they'll find out.
Oh
They'll
yeah, but
find them out.
Slot. Listen, here's the thing with Slot, right? He played a 4-3-3 wherever he was coaching as well. Jurgen Klopp did a fantastic 8 years.
He did,
All Slot. They just recruited the same manager that plays the same style of football that is charismatic, and that's it.
and
All
that's
you have
it.
to do is come and press play. But one thing is, what they're not pressing play is a pause. Mo Salah's contract.
Yeah, if Mo Salah leaves,
We're
look,
fucked.
in the next 2 years, I think Liverpool will go back to what they were
But dude,
because
what are they stupid? Mo Salah is the more prolific what they have in the team right now. Mo Salah is winning them games. Oh, he's
yeah,
32. We're not going to give him this kind of money. Hey, Mo Salah has got plenty years in the tank.
more guys in the tank. Yeah,
Yeah.
So I just pray to lose him.
No,
um,
I think that Liverpool will run out of gas eventually. We will see. I think that the dark horse right now. I'm impressed by Chelsea. You know,
I'm
nobody's
impressed by
expecting
Chelsea too. Yeah,
it.
yeah. They just go with every channel you go to, their supporters and say, "Oh, we're not on the title race." Yes, you are. They just don't want to put the pressure on their players. It's like all of them went to a room and they said, "Guys, if you go to the YouTube, Instagram, whatever the case is, we're not in the title race. We're not in the title race, but you are. You how many points from Liverpool? Like 2 points, 3 points? Come on.
Oh yeah,
And you got a good and they have a good run coming up. So
yeah. But listen, we are talking about Manchester United here. We're playing Victoria Pilsner. I call them Pilsner. Pilsen. I can't. For some reason, I say Victoria Pilsner. Pilsen. Pilser. Anyway, we're playing them, and there's no. I checked. There's no a manager's press conference for Aligned as of yet. Um, Listen, we're playing away. I don't know. Do you reckon we get a result? It's a Czech team, I think.
oh yeah, I think we will win. Let me see when we're playing. We're playing
Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah.
So they might do the thing tomorrow. But yeah, I think we can. I think if the okay, we lost 2 games. I think there'll be a bounce back. So I'll not be surprised. I'll be surprised if we lose 3 in a row.
Yeah. Are
Because if
you?
we lose this game, then we go play Manchester City. That's 4 in a row. So I think we go win this game and then probably go and win at Manchester City
You
or maybe tie.
I'm not going to have any expectations what to do if we're going to win City or the Europa League game. We take it
Yeah,
game by game, but
yeah.
I'm starting to get a little bit critical regarding the rotational system. I do understand you're doing it to avoid injuries, but at the same time, you're costing us points at the same time because hey, these players are played like they're paid 300K a week. They can start. They've done it before, right? So I was a little bit critical because after the Arsenal, we lost the game. We could have a bounce back, playing at home, Nottingham Forest. We could start it off with the same team, like, the strongest team,
I
and then
I
rotate.
just I just think he just doesn't trust him.
He doesn't probably know.
He doesn't trust him because we're supposed to get a manager bounce. He himself was in his sense a manager bounce. I just beat Manchester City, and I'm coming here and I didn't even get no manager bounce. So in his head, it's like, "Raw, I'm not going to depend on you guys.
Right.
If you play good, look at Ahmad. Ahmad has been the brightest star in
Spotlight,
the
yeah.
in the sport. So, but he's playing the wrong place. I understand why he's playing there. I would like him to play up forward under the striker, but then put Maserati.
Nah, man.
Uh,
He's so intelligent player, like, he's
yeah,
unstoppable. He passes his player, and that's the thing where I don't see uh, the likes of any Garnacho is misplaced as well. I mean,
he
Garnacho's
does.
been
Yeah,
found out. You can't play him as a number 10. He's a pure
you
winger.
can.
And you
Yeah,
can't play him as a wing back as well because he doesn't have the defensive duties. So it wouldn't surprise me that they look at him as an asset in the summer, also to raise money to sell.
hopefully, and he's an economy player too. So if they could get rid of
I
four
mean,
players,
I love him to pieces. I love him
I
to
love him
pieces,
to
but
pieces too. But he's not good in the system. Yeah,
his decision making has been awful, right? It's
yeah,
been awful, and he's been found out as well. Like you keep dribbling, you keep holding onto the ball instead of being a team playing pass the ball. If you see what Ahmad is doing, he doesn't take the glory. He doesn't go for goal. He's just taking on his man and finding a pass. The team play.
yeah,
That's a proper wing back. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
We need at least
You
we
see
need like
Diego
four of
Dalot
Armas.
bombing forward and shooting. And the ball goes over goes over all the
Yeah,
way to
over.
Sainsbury
Yeah,
Park.
pass the ball, man. Pass the ball.
Mm,
Something.
mm.
You know.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, big up Craig Warby as well. Big up for everyone that's tuned in this afternoon. Sorry, we had a little bit of technical issues. We switched platform to EView Max here, what we're streaming on. StreamYard seems to be having a bug. We started the stream, there was no microphone. I checked everything. I had to end the stream after 6 minutes, and then we went live. And Zeus is here, all the way from USA, New York, in the house.
New
Um,
York, New York.
it's not, yeah, Yali, you mentioned a very point. It's not 115 charges anymore. It's 130
Then
charges.
13 charges.
Holy moly, smoking gun.
Hopefully, hopefully, it's a good thing coming in for them to tell us, okay, the charges is sticking. This is what we're gonna do to you guys. Hopefully, everybody agrees. I want Manchester City to get relegated
Me
for
too.
115, for 130 years for
Yeah.
the amount of charges.
And that's what, even where Pep Guardiola's head is going in cuckoo land, one flew over the cuckoo's nest. He had to
I just
pick
don't know
on
why he signed. Yeah, I just don't know why he signed the
Mourinho.
contract then.
Mourinho said six, what? For cheating? Mourinho
Oh
called him
my
out. Everyone
god.
knows it. Anyway, people, thank you so much, Zeus, for tuning in. A true
Everybody, thank you for having me. All right, more to
You're
come.
welcome. You're welcome. And that's about wrapping up the stream, people. Thank you, Zeus, for coming in. Guys, we spoke about certain lot of things. Let me take off my cap. We spoke about Marcus Rashford. You guys had a say in the VR room in the chat. 89% said sell Marcus Rashford in the January window. Manchester United needs to sell to buy. We spoke about the disaster, the financial crisis. We spoke about the potential reason why they sacked Dan Ashworth and delegating the job between four different players. Maybe they're looking to cut down the price there and not paying. They removed they increased the ticket price holding and stuff like that. Glazers still in the club. All we can say, love United, hate the Glazers, stay beautiful people. Don't forget to like and subscribe to MUFC Realist TV. We will be back. And if you missed yesterday's Jarvis Corner, that was a record-breaking show. Jarvis held up the fort with Phil Marsh, ex-United player, together with Dale O'Donnell, former chief editor from Stratton News, and now writes for United Forever as well. So, guys, please see us in the next video. Glory, glory, Manchester United, and peace, love, and go banana. We out of here. Peace. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching MUFC Realist TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on the socials.